So Rob, we had this fish tub. We started with a single lid design, and after using it, figured out that it would be a lot easier to use if we split it. So we ended up splitting it.
Okay.
Because you can get any fish we can catch in there.
So otherwise, you'd have to lift this whole lid up.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
And what happened is people were standing just like you are right now, kind of off the edge to get the lid up. So we decided to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. And this boat hauls some fish. He does some pretty serious fishing on this boat, doesn't he?
Yeah. Lots of halibut and salmon. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then I see there's a washdown right here.
Yeah, that was one of the other additions we made after using the boat. We know we have the hose reels in the center console, but when you're out here filleting, it's nice to not have a hose draped over the transom, so we put in a quick connect there.
Yeah, and then this is key right here.
This is a 100-pound halibut size.
And I like this. The fish don't skid around on here. Normally you would just have UHMW or something here. The fish skid all over the place, and you're constantly chasing them around on a table like this. But I like this with this fillet mat in here. This is key.
Yeah, it works pretty well, and this is pretty inexpensive. You cut it up, you just put a new piece on.
Yeah.
So the whole thought process behind this design is that we wanted everything to happen outside of the cockpit. So you land the fish, you gill the fish, bleed them in the fish box. The quick connect so that when you're filleting, you can do everything back here and clean up one area and be done with it.
Makes great sense. Otherwise, it's all going on in there and you got blood and guts all over the deck, and we know how that goes.
People tracking it inside.
For sure. Yeah, I like this, man. Knife holders, plier deal here, cup holder, and then you've got this railing in here to keep you inboard too. You can land your fish back here.
Exactly.
Drag them over the corner if you want to, get them up on this fantail, and lots of room to work.
Room to work the net from back there. Somebody can stay in the cockpit who's got the fish on, got the rod in their hands.
Yeah.
It's worked out pretty well. The other thing we wanted to do is the swim ladders are always a thing, right? You need them on the boat. Nobody ever likes where they go or the design. So we had this one designed to fit inside the staple rail. So you can reach this pin from the water, and then the ladder flips down into the water.
Okay.
And get out. That. I have since made a revision to this and added an additional rung that folds out from here, so it goes a little deeper.
And then these are live wells right in here? Mark?
Yeah, so it's a split live well configuration. Okay. You can order it so that the center section will come out, so you have a 140-gallon live well with the center section, and you have about 60 on each side. And we've designed it trying to fit all of the different markets. The guys around here that fish anchovies, they don't typically care all that much about the bait and the nose of the bait, and they're running into things. Some of the other bait species are pretty sensitive to that, so we've designed the drains so they can actually come up into here and be adjusted with a plate.
Gotcha.
Across there, so we can get good flow.
2 60-gallon live wells in here? Yeah. And these can double as bleed boxes as well.
They can.
Yeah.
Which is the reason we did the split, because a lot of times when you're fishing, if you get too many fish, it's nice to have somewhere else.
We like those problems. So, and then I see Burnewiin in here, of course, and this is the Burnewiin downrigger base right here, which is nice. You can snap that thing right out, stow your downriggers.
Exactly.
And you're not unscrewing anything, just a simple flip of the switch here. You can see these switches right there. Flip that switch out, pop it out, and store it away. So.
Yeah, one nice thing about Burnewiin is they're always innovating, right?
For sure.
They're coming up with a new swivel design to kind of take care of some of those guys that want the bent butt swivels on the East Coast.
And then Burnewiin table with the same decking on there. I like that. And again, here you go. Everything just pops out, snaps back in. And this table pops right out too. So same concept. Set down in these stainless bases, the whole table can come out and get stowed down below.
Exactly.
So, nice.
And we've laid it out so that the table can move into any section of the Burnewiins. They're all, the spacing is all the same. So
it's on 30-inch centers or 26 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then look at this down here for all you fishermen out there.
One of the big design initiatives that we had when we started this was we've got to get the tackle out of the bilge. Right, so when you're out fishing, you're not digging through a bilge, having to open a hatch to access it. So we've got 16 storage spots.
Yeah, look at that. That's nice. And slam latches, you're not twisting anything. Close so easily right there. Look at that. Jeez. He's stacked up. Got it all here. And then boarding gates, both sides, right there with more storage. There's your trash can right in there, like that. And then what do we got here? Is this a davit?
That's a davit. That's
Okay.
a pot puller. We've got some extra downrigger plugs in there, and again in the back corner, so you can fish 4 downriggers if you want. Electric.
Yeah, right there. What do we got there?
As well as the plug for the pot puller.
Yep.
Now this particular owner went with an extra heavy duty Lone Star unit, so he can drop down about 1,500 feet.
God. Only in Alaska.
Exactly.
To be searching out fish that deep. And same thing over here, another boarding gate, port side, more of this Burnewiin gear, you know, all this stuff. Easy to pop out of there and stow down below. You know, let's say you're pulling into your moorage or something, you can get rid of all this stuff and clean up the gun also.
Right.
And then this here, I like this as well, Mark. This has like a detent on it up top, so it stays up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's always an issue, right? Where do you store your boat hooks and your gaffs and your brushes? And
Yeah.
we wanted to have a place for everything on the boat so you could store it out of sight.
Nice and clean. I like that.
The other
And then-
thing, Rob, that we did is we went with these. I'll bring one over here so you can see it. But we went with
Oh, I like these.
quick connect kingpin fasteners. Because one of the complaints that we commonly get is when owners with somebody that's new, they don't understand how to tie knots, right?
Yeah.
So now we've got 4 fenders. They're all labeled for a point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just clip into these little holders on the side. You drop them in, drop it over, and it's a done deal.
Well, a lot of times when you're docking, you're running the boat, and you've got people out here running around, getting the fenders out that don't necessarily spend a lot of time on a boat.
Right.
You know, so this is key right here. You may know how to tie this stuff up, but the people on the boat don't.
Exactly.
So that's a great option. I like those.
We've all had to chase a fender in the marina that got
sure.
loose.
Yeah. Yeah. This station here in the middle. Man, this is
Yeah,
is
so
incredible.
that was another big design initiative for us. You know, we have some people that want additional bait wells. We have some people that want processing stations, barbecues. So we designed this hatch so that it can be removable and you can put different gear on it as you want to use the boat. Now, this particular one, we've got a barbecue that slides out on rails, stores there. We've got a couple of hose reels down here, fresh and salt water. Little storage over here. Then on the front side, we put a vac packer in so that you can sit here, you can fillet all your fish, get them clean back there, set them up here, package them.
Get them in the bags, pack them, in the freezer they go.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one
And then
here.
a little more storage here.
Yep. Nice.
And this is completely customizable, right? Like every owner's got a different opinion about what they want,
Yeah.
and it's easy for us to change.
Like this. Rinse everything off. How many
Exactly.
gallons of fresh water we got on here?
170,
Oh, nice.
plus a water maker.
And one thing about the Lindells, there's a lot of space down below.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we should start popping some hatches,
'Kay.
Mark. And
So you can see the port side of one of the primary engines, but we've got our quick gyro, we've got easy access to the sea strainer for the engine. Fuel filter, we use the Raycor 500 so that if you have a problem, you can just switch to the other filter without having to try to change filters on the move. And then other systems and wiring.
and steps to get down in here, because you will be in here at some point,
Exactly.
you know, and that way you're not stepping on top of here, on top of that quick. Yeah, I mean, this is laid out so nice. And if we pop this one here, we'll get into the center of this thing.
One of the things that I'm especially proud of, and I'll point it out as we go through the boat, is just the wiring and the layout of the systems. Our guys spend so much time making sure that it looks as good as it performs.
And again, you got a walkway down the center. Got a ladder in there to climb down in there. Yeah, wow. And these are IPS drives?
IPS 15s.
And your other quick right there. And you guys just switched to the quick gyros.
We did.
that long
We wanted something that had a little smaller footprint that we could split apart and put dual units in rather than being stuck with one large one in the middle of the boat.
And then you talked about the rigging, Mark. I mean, that is just a beautiful job right there. Everything's all labeled out. So if you need to chase a wire, you can find it here and you can find it on the other end.
And every harness we put in has got spare leads in it. So if you need to add something in the future, you're not having to cut every wire tie in the boat to get it run. The other thing that we spent a lot of time on is drainage for the cockpit. One of the hard things in the design with this type of layout for the engine room is what do you do to support those center hatches, right? So we came up with this hatch ring. So we've got good gutters going down the middle, and immediately the question is, well, what happens if I need to service the top end of the motor? Well, we built this ring. You can see the caulk line there.
See the screws here?
So this whole ring can come out and the engines come straight out of the boat, or you could pull a head or valve cover.
A lot of these, not much room to work.
Right.
There's a ton of room. That's from that deep V. What do you got, 20 degrees of dead rise, 22?
20.
And then I noticed these. I haven't seen stoppers like this before, Mark. What's going on here?
Well, what I've noticed throughout the years is that as hatches sit and people walk on them, the D-rubbers always get compressed and then the hatch starts to leak. And so we wanted to come up with a solution so that we could support the hatch but still seal on the D-rubber. So we came up with these little mounts. So all the pressure of the hatch is actually on the mount and the D-rubber's doing its job, which is just to seal.
And more hatches forward here, Mark. Let's pop this guy up and see what kind of treats we got down in here. Okay, another massive hatch. And I see a davit right there. And it looks like we should probably get both sides open at the same time here, right?
So we've got the pot puller storage there. And this is another space we kind of leave configurable for the owner. Mm-hmm. This particular owner wanted freezers in the outboard corners. So those hatches there are built-in freezers.
You see how much space is in here?
Yeah, that's a ton of space.
It's deep.
Those are freezers there.
That's a freezer?
Mm-hmm.
Freezer there. And another one on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
So freezers both sides in here. Built right into the boat. So you're not taking up space in here with a freezer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
kind of dead space out there, right? It's out over the chine, and what ends up happening if you don't put a freezer there is people just stuff stuff over there, right? And then you find it when you sell the boat.
Yeah, if you look in here, I mean, I already popped it open once, but if you look in here, you can see the freezer plate in there. You pack your fish, hand them down to somebody in here, in the freezer they go.
Exactly.
And you can pack a lot of fish in both these spaces on either side.
Yeah, so we went ahead and put in some motor well drains for draining the freezers.
Right there, huh?
Nothing worse than having to get a roll of Scott towel to clean your freezer out after you defrost it.
I see one there, one on this side too. Same with the other side.
You drain into the locker there, and then we have a pump to pump it overboard.
Easy to get out of there. And we'll pop those closed. More hatches here, Mark. What do we got going on below here, buddy?
So down here we've got our sea chest. One of our initiatives was to get one spot on the boat to bring all the raw water aboard. So we built this sea chest. It holds about 11 gallons of raw water. We've got 3 separate strainers, and all the raw water for the generator and water maker and air conditioning all comes out of there.
And I see you've got a light in there. It's all lit up. So again, easy to work on, man. Okay, and then what do we got down in here, Mark, in this hatch?
So down here we've got our water maker. We've got our generator fuel filter down there. We have a cargo net that actually goes in there to block that area off so you can store stuff in there without it falling down to the generator compartment. But we've designed, again, this center hatch is designed so that if you did have to pull your generator, you pull the hatch off and you got full access to the generator. But all the daily servicing is done right here on the side.
What do we have on the mezzanine here, Mark?
So we've got some more storage hatches.
Okay.
This is typically where an owner would put, extra downriggers or rods or really whatever you want to store in there.
What's this here?
That's an extra large water pump. The owner wanted house level pressure and he got it.
And it looks like this goes underneath all the way over there.
It does. It goes all the way over. Yeah, there's quite a bit of storage in there.
Look at all that storage. And you're always finding, looking for a spot for those downriggers,
Right.
or all this stuff, and life jackets and whatever, it can all go in there.
There's a UV sterilizer back there for the water system, you know, just to keep it as safe as possible.
Second station.
Second steering station, we've got a Glendinning cord winder in there for the cord. That's another big design initiative for us. You know, carrying around a 120, 240, 50 amp cord, nobody likes it, right? So now it just sits here. You just pull it out, push the button to bring it back in.
So nice. Right there. And EPIRB right there. This boat spends a lot of time offshore. I mean, this guy's a hardcore fisherman, you know, and that's a great safety feature right there. Where this boat goes, yeah, I don't know if there's a lot of Lindells that fish as hardcore as this thing. You know.
Probably not.
Yeah, so.
Except for the old commercial boats, right?
That's true. The originals. Second station, joystick, Volvo Penta controls. And nice thing about this joystick, you know, you can kind of run it right here. See up the side of the boat while you're docking, you know. And then massive overhang in here. I love this, man. Get out of the weather. And then what's going on here, buddy?
Well, one of the complaints we've heard is that people have a hard time seeing the Garmin display while they're back fishing. So we made this little display to come down so you can see it from the back deck.
Jeez, yeah, I'm clear back here. And wow.
And one of the things with cruising boats is you never have enough space for fridge and freeze goods, right, that you're eating. So we added this fridge freezer combo on the back deck with the seat cushion. So that,
see that. We've got camera gear and stuff in there, but yeah, you're right, Mark. You never have enough space for all your beverages and whatnot. So, and then I see these steps here. Do those fold down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have these fold down steps for access to the hard top. What we've noticed is that as we're all getting a little older, it's a little harder to climb up on the railing and over the side. So we wanted to give access to the hardtop area for dinghy storage. And
yeah, right up through there. There's another hatch right in here.
And that's another design feature, you know, that came out of our experiences in Alaska, is that sometimes you're up there and you just get that biblical rain, right? And you cannot get dry. So we have a heated drying locker. So you put all your wet rain gear in there. And when you wake up in the morning, it's all nice and dry and warm.
Kidding. Oh, I can see the heat vent down there.
Exactly.
Wow. I love it. You thought of everything. And then this goes right up, and we'll check out that hardtop in a minute, but it's just massive.
So traditional Lindell, we have high flow fuel fills. We have a large center or day tanks, 750 gallons, and then we have 2 auxiliary tanks that are 330 apiece. But you can fill these with two 2-inch high flow fills and not overcome the ability for the tank to take it. So you can fill up pretty fast. So one last thing I want to show you here, Rob, before we go up the side is we've built in an integral SureShade sunshade, or in the Northwest, a rain shade, and it's operated from our screen here, so we can open that up.
Oh, jeez.
And that shade extends out 10 feet.
And it's all concealed back in the hardtop there.
Exactly.
Recessed in there.
One of my big concerns, obviously, with a shade like this is what can it take, right? So when you talk to the designers, they've designed this to take 50 knots of wind, which if you're running this out with 50 knots of wind, you should probably have your head checked. But we did take it out and we ran it with the boat full speed. We didn't get any bounce, any bend. Real happy with the operation.
It covers almost the entire aft deck.
Exactly.
But you still have room to fish back here. It cuts off just about the right distance here, so you can still fish, swing rod tips overhead, and you're not running into the SureShade, you know. So, yeah, you're cooking, working on fish, out of the weather.
Yeah, we also have an app to control it, so you know you can run it in and out from your phone. Pretty simple, right? Auto retract, auto extend. So now it's an auto retract, so it'll run itself in. And we're looking at developing a feature, especially for the owner of this boat who lives in Anchorage but keeps the boat in Seward. We want to develop a feature so that he can put a timer on it and he can run it out from home and have it auto retract after a couple hours. So if we've been out and it's been pouring and he happens to get a nice day in Seward,
Oh, it can dry it out.
he can dry it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's cruise up along the side deck here and check out the bow, huh?
Let's do it. One of the design initiatives for us was to have a lot of handrails, right? So you can really be firm and safe while you're walking up the side deck. The other thing is we went with these side-mounted rocket launchers because somebody of my stature certainly isn't going to reach behind that hardtop to grab rods.
This is about the only place you could put them, really, because this is way too tall here. So, no, that's perfect. And then direct bond windows, just beautiful. Yeah, sleek, modern.
Very sleek. We're pretty happy. We've got a little insert for a window inside the window there that slides, opens. We went with Delta T water shedding vents, so we get plenty of airflow into the engine room, nice dry water.
And then this davit?
Yeah, we got the Steelhead 1000 davit we've been putting on for a while on this boat. Dinghy chocks, and this massive hardtop space.
Wow.
Lots of storage.
No shortage of room up here. More decking, so you're not skating around up here. Plus, it just looks nice.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it can be sacrificial, right? If you throw a crab pot on it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're dinging up Joe coat. We went with the big, huge Lumar 70 access hatches for ventilation, as well as, you know, if you needed to escape for some reason. We've got the solar vents in them to keep air moving in the boat. He's got the large 6-foot open array Garmin. Starlink DPS. He's got a weather sensor up there, VHF, AIS. And this boat, believe it or not, is actually a little lighter compared to some of the other boats and options that people choose.
And then these things just look wicked, Mark, with the forward raked windows, that brow. Got a really nice look to them.
Yeah, it's the signature Lindell look that's upgraded.
And it's functional too.
Exactly.
It cuts glare. These shed water really well. You know, if you do take a greener, it's going down this way instead of pounding that window. If the windows are slanted like this, it's hammering those windows.
For sure.
Fully functional windscreen and just absolutely beautiful. I see windlass, anchor in here.
Yeah.
I mean, this owner does some anchoring for halibut. He's probably got a pretty good shot of anchor line in there, right?
He does. We designed it so that it could hold 800 feet of 5/16 high test without having to come up here and flake the chain. That was one of the big design initiatives, is that, you know, having somebody up here to flake chain that's not ideal, right?
No.
So.
And wash
Freshwater washdown, remote control. He added a couple of Burnewiin mounts up here because he's going to put a couple of big LED lights for when he runs the boat back in the fall. If he gets caught in the dark, he'll have a little extra illumination. So again, we have the Lumar size 70 hatch here. It goes down over the master berth. It's got a screen in the shade on it, obviously, so you can sleep in Alaska during the summer. But we decided again to go with the bigger hatches because as we get older, we all get a little bigger, and it's nice to have the elbow room if you're trying to get out of it.
Let's go inside and check out the cabin, buddy.
All right. Come on inside.
Yeah. Shut that door right there. Wow, this is beautiful, Mark. Whew.
I would put our cabinetry guys up against anybody. I mean, you can see the owner wanted zebra wood or zebrano, and you can see we spent a lot of time, our cabinet guys, getting all the grains to line up and match, and so it looks like it came from one piece of wood.
And the finish work, look at that.
Pretty classic Lindell gloss finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been in the factory and seen those guys working, and they are craftsmen, just like everybody else in the factory. And is this Corian? Right?
This is Corian. We've got an induction cooktop, convection microwave speed oven, and then the standard dual drawer fridge.
Look at that.
Big pantry. That's the other thing. When we were designing the galley, you know, everybody thinks they want more drawers, but then when you use the boat, you find everybody comes on board with bags of popcorn and bags of chips, and what do you do with it? You stuff it in a drawer and it comes out in 1,000 pieces. So we built a little pantry for that.
Nice. I love these latches. Easy to close all these drawers, you know. You're not twisting and locking something, and yeah, because you usually got food in one hand, trying to get the drawer closed, you know. So I like that. And then this is massive here, and I like how it's elevated so you can see out the windows. You know, that's one thing when you're a passenger, a lot of times you're sitting down a little bit lower, and it can be a little frustrating, you know, not being able to see what's going on. But between this elevation and the direct bond windows, I mean, look at the visibility in here. It's just beautiful.
It's insane.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people get seasick, right? Because they can't see the horizons. They're stuffed down in a hole. And
Beautiful headliner in here, overhead rod racks, and even out the back here, you can sit. This window even opens. You know, if you didn't want to stay in here and get warm, you can still talk to everybody on the back deck.
We spent quite a bit of time making this table convert into a bed because, you know, everybody likes the van conversion. And this is a big, heavy table, so we put in an electric lift.
Okay.
And we designed the cushions so that they can become part of the bed, because that's always the other problem with a conversion is you end up having another.
You got to store it somewhere.
You got to store it somewhere.
Yeah.
So now the tabletop, the back seat cushions are actually go on the tabletop and create a bed.
And that's a massive bunk right there.
It is.
Yeah.
You might even be able to sleep in there.
Maybe, yeah. Diagonal. Well, look at the headroom in here. You don't feel claustrophobic in here at all.
We spent a bunch of time looking through and, you know, visualizing how to handle the ventilation. That's an issue in the Northwest. Everybody comes inside, they're wet, and the boat gets steamy, and the windows fog up, and you can't see anything. So this whole center section out above your head is all one big plenum, and we've got these air diffusers on either side.
I can see that right there and right
So
there.
we get good airflow that runs down the windows and then runs forward onto the windshield as well. So Rob, if you look here, we've got kind of our control and command center. All those items that you need to deal with as you're running the boat, but you don't need it to be on the dash front and center, taking up good real estate. We've put the generator controls, the water maker controls, stereo, digital switching, gyro controls. It's all located here so that either the captain or his crew can deal with it.
What's the beam on this, Mark?
14.2.
14.2. I just noticed the room here. You know, you can be working here, people can pass behind you. You're not like crammed into a little aisleway like so. There's just tons of room through here to move, you know, ingress, egress. You can be working here on the countertop cooking, and people can be walking in and out of here. Tons of room in this cabin.
We really wanted it to feel homey, right? That we wanted to build this boat so that you could go out and cruise on it as well as fish and spend, you know, a week or two on it and not feel like you were stuffed into a camper and crawling all over each other.
My favorite part of any boat right here, Mark, the helm seat. What kind of base is underneath this thing?
Shocks X4, and you're
Okay.
sitting on a Stid seat.
Man, this is comfortable. And there's some adjustability here as well, right?
Exactly. We spent a lot of time trying to design a helm that would work for people of varying heights. And one of the big things that we came up with is that not only do you have the adjustability in the seat, but we've also been able to put the dash on a slide. So you can run it from here, or I can run it from here, and we can
Oh, look at that.
move the helm forward and back.
Okay. Man, I love that feature.
So you can really customize how the dash how you interact with the dash and the seat.
So like for me, I like to rest my arm here, have my hands on the controls. So I can put that exactly where I want it, you know? And the seat goes back and forth too, right?
Yeah, you've got 4 inches of travel.
Yeah. Huh, so we could run that back here. It could be right here. You're not reaching for the controls. When you end up doing that, or you're down here on the controls, you end up chopping the controls.
Exactly.
You end up hitting a wave and jamming them or something. This way you can stabilize your arm, and you just like ultimate control on those throttles. Joystick right here. I see trim tabs. Yeah, and clean. This is nice and clean. Everything is run through those MFDs, right?
Yeah, and like I said, we took all of those other features that would typically be on your dash and we moved them over here to the control station. So we've got, you know, a little storage up here. We've got a wireless phone charger there. We've got access to the sliding window. We've got the ISATA wheel.
Yeah, this is new.
So we've got the ISATA wheel, and on the wheel you've got horn, you've got some lighting functions, stereo functions. You can control the screens a bit. We've also got the paddle shifters, what would typically be the shifter, and it's actually your wiper.
There's a wiper right there. Yeah.
That way you don't have to try to reach forward and look down at some small wiper controls. That, you know, it's hard to see.
Wow. It's all so intuitive. Adjustable, of course. You can get that down there. Nice comfortable position. Running here. And autopilot, I'm sure on this as well.
Yeah, the autopilot's integrated with part of the Garmin system. so you can control that through the wheel as well.
Yeah.
Make course changes.
Look how clean this is. I mean, this is beautiful. And then Mark, the one thing I noticed, you know, we look at a lot of boats, and I'm always looking at this right here. How is your visibility out of the helm seat, you know? And this is just like commanding view from this position right here. And I'm fairly tall, but anybody would have this view right here, you know?
For sure.
So,
and the seat is also adjustable in height, not just shock mitigating. So you've got 4 inches of adjustment in height, so you can really put that sight line exactly where you want it to be.
so no matter your height, you're going to have this view right here. I mean, this is commanding right here. You're going to see everything. And you can see right down over that bow as well. A lot of times you're sitting down so low, and I notice this in some of the boats that we look at. You know, I'm trying to look over this, and then I just can't see over that bow. And this is awesome, man. And then we got shades in here as well.
Yeah, we've got some roll-up shades. We have an option to do, you know, auto darkening glass if somebody wants that feature. But these are just simple roll-up shades, so you can lock the boat down.
And then this passenger seat over here, Mark II, is also on a shocks base, I see. And the same style seat with the same commanding view. So if you're a passenger, of course, you've got a large MFD in here too. You've got the same view that the captain has over there running the boat. And look at this, you know, yeah. Again, everything is elevated up here. So if you're a passenger, you're running the boat, wherever you're at in this boat, even at the galley, you've got a great view out these direct pond windows. So
yeah, and one thing about running in the Northwest at the speeds we run at, you need to have multiple eyes looking out in front of you, right? Because there's lots of stuff floating out there. One of the other things we designed is we put a little chart table in here for storage. Yeah. You know, people are always looking for a place to throw their chart cards and their paperwork and ID and that sort of thing. So we've got that. We've got the little cubby here for putting your phone on. One of the things I really enjoy about having the MFD on this side is that, you know, the owner can focus on running the boat. Say you're in heavy fog, and when I'm on board, I can help him run the radar.
So there you go, right there.
Pull the radar screen up. Mm-hmm. And now he can focus on everything that's important to keeping the boat running, and I can do collision avoidance. And with the digital switching, you know, back at the vessel, I can actually turn any circuit on the boat on and off from that screen. I don't have to get out of the chair. I don't have to come back here. I don't have to hit a light switch. I can just turn it on and off from there.
Go check out the staterooms down here, Mark. Wow, this turned out great, Mark.
We're pretty happy with this forward stateroom.
I should say so.
We really wanted to have a little enclave for the owner, a little ensuite head and shower, you know, somewhere they could go and get away from everybody else and to have some separation.
And nice and bright in here, these coverings really brighten it up. Beautiful bedding, look at all the woodwork, all that same cabinetry we saw up above, you know. Storage on both sides in here, look at that. Tons of storage. And we've got big drawers too, massive drawers underneath this bed.
Ton of storage space in there.
Oh yeah, and all lit up too.
Of course.
Yeah. And then this bed comes up too?
Yeah, so we can push the button and raise the bed up.
Okay. Look at the lighting. And again, just extra space for storing all the supplies for a long range trip, you know, 2-week-long trip.
Yeah, it's those little things that you don't really think about until you go to try to find a place on a boat, right? Paper towels, toilet paper, and rags.
Now we can see these drawers yet again, and the lights here, so you can see everything in there, you know. And then you can see the ventilation system up here, Mark. Is that the same system that we saw up in the cabin there?
Yeah, nice big air diffusers so you don't get a lot of air whistling noise while you're trying to sleep. And a nice even diffusion. It rolls up off the ceiling, kind of down the head of the bed, or the foot of the bed, I mean.
And then here's this hatch we were looking at up on the bow, and it's quiet up here as well.
Very
A lot
quiet.
of time in these bow, forward staterooms, you get some water splashing on the hull. And we've got the wind blowing pretty good outside, and it's totally quiet in here.
And then we've got the built-in shade and night darkening shade, as well as a screen.
Oh, yeah,
So those
there you
pull out, and then that one pulls back.
Right there. Yep. Before we hit the head, Mark, gotta know what's going on right down here. Okay.
So access to the top of the holding tank. Underneath that cover is the sending unit, and then there's a bunch more storage down there, as you can see.
Yeah.
And Robin, here we have the ensuite master head.
Okay.
It's got a built-in shower, glass door, nice big Tecma heads. One of the big design initiatives behind this head from all the owners is they wanted the biggest, baddest head that they could get. Something that acted more like a home toilet than a boat toilet. So we were able to succeed with that here. Sink, we've got some storage, these nice latches. So every space that you can find to put something, you have some access. Got toilet paper holders in there. We have a built-in ventilation system for both heads. If you push the button on the wall, you get 10 minutes of evacuation. So Rob, over here we have our second head, our guest head.
I see that, yeah.
It's what you call a wet head in the marine industry. So you can shower in the space. Again, we've got the great big head. We've got the shower wand here. Got the standard Lindell Corian finishes, nice cabinetry, some more storage under the sink.
Let's check out this mid-berth, Mark. A lot going on down here. And talk about sleeping capabilities.
Yeah, so we've got a ton of space down here. We've got a bunk where your feet slide underneath a bunk above it here. We've got the bunk you're sitting on. We've got the Pullman that folds down from the ceiling over there.
Check this out. Here's another one right here. Right there. So talk about passenger sleeping capabilities. Lots of room in here for the whole family or for your friends. You're off on a hunting or fishing trip. You got plenty of places to bunk people out in here. And all that same woodwork in here as well. It's just beautiful. And wall finishes, everything spectacular.
Yeah, we went to great lengths to make sure this space didn't feel like a cave, because oftentimes they can, right? I mean, you're under the salon, it gets kind of dark and dreary, but with all the light colors and the windows and the hall sides especially, it really brings in that natural light.
That's right.
Kind of a cool spot to be.
And then we've got some of this stuff removed, and that is actually from this cabinet right here. We open this up. Right there, Mark, we've got access to systems, and I see the bilge down in there. This panel pops off as well, doesn't it?
It does. So you have full access to all of the plumbing for the toilet, the sump pump for the showers. We've got an extra bilge pump down there in case something does happen to leak. There shouldn't ever be any water in there, but yeah, we wanted to give really good access to the owners, but we didn't want to feature it.
And it's all lit up.
It's all lit
as
up.
well. You're not taking your cell phone with your flashlight on it and trying to light something up and work down there. You have
Every
lights everywhere.
bilge, yeah, every bilge in a Lindell, all the engine room, the utility spaces, they are all going to have good lighting in them. And Rob, there's a couple other things I want to show you while we're down here. We went to great lengths to make those systems accessible I was mentioning earlier.
Oh my
So we've
goodness.
got all of our electrical down here where it's easy to get to, all the resettable breakers, the fuses, everything is labeled clearly. You can trace wires from one end of the boat to the other.
Look at that. That is a work of art right there.
So down here we have the primary DC electrical system. And if we go up here, we have access to all of the electronic systems.
Okay, right there.
So front to back electronics, stereo, heating system. And again, well lit. You're not digging for a flashlight.
And speaking of systems, Mark, a lot going on up here, and yet another well-lit compartment right there.
So we call that our utility space. It's got your main AC breaker panel. On the Lindells, we designed those panels to be more like a home panel, so you're not having to interact with those breakers all the time, only if there's an issue or you need to turn the circuit off. We've got an inverter charger, 5,000 watt, with a backup mounted on the wall. We've got lithium battery packs out there to your right as you're looking in there. The battery management system all labeled, easily well lit, all the fuses labeled so you can find things quickly. And in addition, we have our fuel management system back there. I've been involved in other projects on other boats where you're having to transfer diesel from one tank to another, and you've always got oil orbs around because the pumps are always leaking and you're dealing with leaky fittings. And here it's all gravity fed, so you can drain the saddle tanks into the main tank. And
it looks like, Mark, you've got a visual on how much fuel you're transferring as well.
All the tanks have sight gauges.
Yeah, a lot of boats don't have that.
Well, electronic gauges are good, but we've all been caught.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for the tour, Mark. I'm excited to go run this thing now and see what she can do.
Let's take her out.
Let's go fire up those Volvo Pentas and get going.
A DPS should kick in and hold us here.
Oh, okay. So Mark, we talked about the IPS system, the Volvo IPS drives on this boat. Maneuverability without question is just unbelievable, right? With the joystick system?
It's crazy. You can do just about anything you want to do, put it in any little hole you can find to fit it into.
Wow, so mooring, getting into the fuel dock, piece of cake, right?
Yeah, we actually spend some time typically with the partners of the primary boat buyer to show them how to run the boat, because that seems to be a big fear. You get a couple that'll buy the boat and the wife doesn't know anything about running the boat, and I can take them out within half an hour. They can run the boat just fine, and it just takes a lot of that fear out of the whole equation.
Yeah, the whole joystick thing is a game changer. It's been a barrier to entry too for boaters wanting to get into something like this. You've worked your whole life, now you want to go boating, and it's a big barrier to entry. There's a lot of fear that goes into that because let's face it, these marinas are tight. And you got to stuff this thing into a 55-foot slip or a 60-foot slip. Well, with the joystick, piece of cake.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's twist that thing and show what this thing can do. You can crab this boat. You can spin it around on a dime.
So right now I'll just spin it. And it's input sensitive. So if I give it a little bit, you can hear that the engines are not revving up. If I give it a lot, the engines will rev up. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually turning it into the wind.
And we're in the footprint of the boat right now. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see by our wake, we're not moving much.
Yeah, we're in a tight little cove here too. And no bow thruster.
No bow thruster.
That's all with the IPS drives. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal. And then if you want to crab walk this thing, same thing, right?
Same thing. Then I just hold the lever over to the side.
And we're sliding sideways. Jeez.
This boat also comes with assisted docking, so it has a DPS function, which is a hold in place function. Mm-hmm. So if I select that, wherever I select it, whatever heading it's on, that's the heading it will hold. But I can twist the top and adjust the heading to get it to where I want it to be. So say you're in a big side wind and you want to put the bow into the wind, but still hold that position. You can literally twist the boat on its axis, hold it into that position.
Or maybe you already had your fenders deployed, set, and you get in there like, we need them on the other side. You can hit that, hold the boat in place, swap everything over the other side, and moor your boat.
Yep.
Yeah, That's unbelievable.
The other feature it has is if you're sitting in DPS mode and you're short-handed, you can pull up to the dock and say you get within 3 or 4 feet. You can hit DPS, kind of get things set, and you can literally bump the handle and it'll move the boat in 1 foot increments closer and closer to the dock, and it'll hold the boat against the dock until you get out and get the lines tied up.
So basically all of our experiences for not right now. Yeah, like,
exactly.
All the stuff we've gone through our entire lives. Where was this 30 years ago, you know?
For sure.
Dang. Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. Pretty cool technology. One of the things we like to show people, Mark, with a boat of this size, with this much dead rise, is bow rise. And let's go ahead and get up on step and just show people the bow rise on this 48 Lindell, or lack of bow rise. I don't think we're going to have much.
Let's do it.
I've spent some time on the 41. It didn't have much, and I have no doubt this is going to be the same. So we're getting up on step here. You're applying RPMs to those Volvo Pentas. We're coming up. And not a lot of bow rise, a little bit, but not much. Quickly overcame that little bit of bow rise. And with a boat, you know, what's the weight on this boat?
She's sitting about 42,000 right now.
42,000 pounds? Yeah. Yeah, with 20 degrees of dead rise and all the torque from those big Volvo Pentas, you would see a lot of bow rise on a boat like this, getting
Typically.
up on step.
Yeah.
And that wasn't much at all.
No.
We overcame that pretty quick, you know. And there's a lot of boats of this size where you have to kind of plan your runway out ahead of you, because you might lose sight of that for 15, 20, 30 seconds while you're getting up on step. You know, we overcame that pretty quick. So,
yeah, you're up and over the top in, you know, under 10 seconds.
yeah. So what are some of the things about this hull design that make this boat special?
We worked hard on the reverse chine and some of the lifting strakes. You know, looking back at the experience we have on our other hull designs, we went a little, it's actually a variable chine. So it changes its angle a little bit as we go aft. And same thing with the dead rise. So we've been able to create the, you know, what we feel is the right amount of lift without digging a hole, without running bow down. Feel like we have a pretty good balance there.
Yeah, we're bow up right now. I mean, we could trim out here.
I can with the tabs, I can drive it down till I'm, you know, basically
We got water going up on the windshield. Yeah. Oh yeah. And we'll turn around here in a minute and go back into some of this chop and show this thing slicing through it. But we've had the 41 and some monstrous seas up in Alaska. We were in 15, 16 footers up there. Piece of cake. You put the bow down on that thing and we sliced right through them, you know, a few years ago. And
absolutely.
so this thing's going to perform the same as some of those design features you were talking about. Reverse chine, those strakes, those give you lift too when you're getting up out of the hole. So we just saw that right there.
Right.
Yeah. So let's trim out. Let's get out of this trim kind of state we're in right now and look at fuel economy, Mark, and give folks an idea of what kind of fuel economy we can expect with this 48 Lindell, with this Volvo Penta IPS system, you know.
So right now we're running about what we call mid-weight. We have a huge variability in weight because of the amount of fuel we can carry, right? So fully loaded, she's running just right at 51,000 pounds, and empty, she's under 40. So it varies. Right now, you know, with the weight in the middle, we're sitting at about 0.7. When we're running how you would typically run it if you were just going out for a day cruise, it runs usually 0.8, 0.85. When she's fully pressed, I've never seen it go below 0.7. So it kind of sits in that range.
And we're cruising right now at 32. Is that pretty standard? Pretty standard cruise speed?
Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you figure we're about 45,000 pounds right now? 50?
43.
43,000 pounds, cruising at 33.7 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Maybe 0.8. Yeah.
Yeah, we, you know, with that kind of fuel that we can carry, we feel like we have a range just over 1,000 nautical miles.
Unbelievable. And top speed? I mean, you're not going to do this for long in a boat like this, but what's the top speed with these Volvos? Let's check it out.
Let's open it up.
Inquiring minds need to know. So we're reaching up into the high 30-mile-an-hour range. I bet with some trim, we could probably hit 40.
We've had it at about 40 maxed out. Right
Yeah.
now we're hitting 37.8.
Yeah, you're not going to do that for long.
No.
No.
So one of the other features we have on this boat is joystick driving. So you can put it into joystick driving mode, and then you don't even have to touch the wheel. So I'll go into it now, and I'm not touching the wheel, and you can see how responsive it is. It'll literally act like an old ski boat.
Doesn't get much easier than that.
No.
Yeah. And then cornering, we're pulling some corners right here. This thing corners pretty good, Mark.
Yeah, it does.
Let's say you need to avoid something, you got a crab pot or something you need to avoid. We talked about some of the debris out here in Puget Sound. Really anywhere you're running, there's going to be some debris in the water. And
Precisely.
yeah, this thing's got a kind of a little sports car mode you can kick it into, right?
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I take it out of joystick driving and we pull back on the throttles and take it to neutral,
Yeah.
we can actually run the entire boat from the joystick.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you look at my screen here, you can see that it's got reverse, neutral, and forward. So I can actually put it in and out of gear with the joystick. So as I hold on to it, I'm actually increasing throttle. And then you can make, big turns and pull it back.
Doesn't get any easier.
It's pretty nice for cruising.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, lay the seat back, just chill. A byproduct of having the joystick driving is that you can actually adjust a drift, or you can troll it. Like right now we're sitting at 9.5 miles an hour, and I don't have to touch the wheel to be able to do a troll and move the boat. The guys that jig around here oftentimes will run it on joystick, and they're able to actually move the boat sideways and change their heading so that if you've got a drift, your line is always going straight down, and they can stay right over the top of
You
those
keep your
fish.
line straight up and down.
Yeah.
And then tuna trolling. Piece of cake.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. Minor adjustments with the joystick, and you can run the second station joystick as well.
You can do it from back there.
Yeah.
Turn on the forward camera, look at the TV, and away you go.